Hello everyone. UPSC Prelims 2023 official key has been released and I am here to talk about the CSAT comprehension part. Most of you know that I deal with comprehension passages in a very different way. I usually train the students to not see the passage first but arrive at the solution by just analyzing the statements. And if at all they are confused in arriving at the solution, if they are confused between two options, I ask them to see the keywords of the passage, and even then they are not going to see the entire passage. This will save a lot of their time and they'll be able to do one passage in 1 minute. This is how I have been training my students, and many students have personally told me that they have cleared CSAT because of my techniques in comprehension passages. So last year also, after the CSAT exam, I have made a video by demonstrating how to arrive at the solutions without seeing the passage but by just seeing the statements. And today, after the key is released, after I checked it, I'm very happy to tell you all that 24 of my predictions out of 27 CSAT passages are correct. If you take it this way, you're already scoring 60 marks and you just need 5 to 10 questions to be correct in rest of your 53 questions. Can't you do that? And even in those 3 questions which went wrong, I really didn't understand why UPSC came up with those answers or what it was thinking to give those answers in the official key. This usually happens every year. For some questions, we can't even say why UPSC is taking that particular answer as the original key. I keep on telling my students that if they follow my techniques in comprehension passages, if at all UPSC gives 25 passages, minimum 20 passages will be correct. And today it has been proven that 24 out of 27 are correct, and definitely with this type of analysis, a lot of your time will be saved in the examination hall and you will definitely clear CSAT. So what I want to tell you is you can definitely trust my techniques, and if you want my CSAT comprehension passages recordings, you can avail the recordings by contacting us on 90591 90571. This video of mine will be followed by the video of my demonstration last year. I have demonstrated it last year. I have explained very clearly of why I was going with those particular options without seeing the passage, or whenever the necessity arises, I have seen the passage from only the keywords point of view. So you can watch it and you'll clearly understand of how to arrive at the answers without seeing the passage, or how to do one passage in 1 minute. This will definitely help you all in your 2024 prelims.
In this video, I am going to show you how to solve UPSC CSAT 2023 comprehension even without reading the passages. This year, UPSC gave 27 passages, and if you get all of them right, you will score 67.5 marks and you have qualified paper 2 already, with 53 more questions left over for you to answer. This is the first question. I'm not seeing the passage. First statement, a national, pragmatic, legal and policy framework for water allocation should be made. Okay, I don't see any negativity in this statement, and this seems to be a broader statement. So this can be a right statement. Second one, all river systems of our country should be linked and huge aquifers created. I somehow feel that this is talking about all river systems of the country should be linked, which is a more challenging aspect. So I don't think this can be a right statement. And huge aquifers. The statement is mentioning specifically about aquifers. So this is narrowing the statement. So I'm not taking this part. Water channels between regions of water surplus and regions of water deficit should be created. Okay, there is no negativity in this statement. So maybe this also can be the right statement. Fourth one, to mitigate water crisis, water demand of sectors such as agricultural industry should be reduced. So obviously we can't, this reduction of demand of sectors is not possible, and this is a wrong statement. So if we are confused between the two statements, I mean, first we didn't see the passage, but now I'm confused between the two statements. So now I'll check out the passage quickly for the keywords. Now what are the keywords? The keywords in this first statement is frameworks. It is talking something about the entire nation, pragmatic policy or pragmatic aspect, legal aspect, policy framework for water allocation. And in this, the keywords are water channels, water surplus regions, and water deficit regions. Now, if we see this passage, It is talking about different states, river systems, water stressed areas, climate change, population, agriculture, okay, constitution, state subject, then ensuring balance, various stakeholders, and allocate water, allocating fair share of water. Okay, and this requires assessments based on objective criteria. Now, while seeing these keywords in the passage, I somehow feel this is the right statement because it is talking about national, the constitution is aspect is mentioned here, state subject is mentioned here, the involvement of government as a policymaker is mentioned here, ensuring balance, right, including all the stakeholders, and it is talking about allocation of water, whereas it is not talking about any water channels or that the water should be transferred between water supplies and water deficit regions. So my answer for this is A. Next, let's see the second question. Education system must be strengthened in rural areas. So then what about urban areas? So this is a narrow statement. I'm not taking this as a right statement. Large scale and effective implementation of skill development program is the need of the hour. Okay, fine. This can be a correct statement. Now next see, but still only talking about skill development is narrowing part of this statement. Third one, for economic development, health and nutrition of only skilled workers need special attention. Is that true? See, why only skilled workers, right? So this is not a right statement. Then for rapid economic growth as envisaged by us, attention should be paid to health and nutrition of the people. So this statement is talking about economic growth, health, nutrition of the people. And one more important aspect which all the aspirants will skip to see is as envisaged by us. That means it indirectly is saying that the passage is, it is indirectly talking about what is there in the passage. Now we are confused between B and D. Now you can see the passage. So when you see the passage is talking about working age, that means economic aspects, right? Then anemia may be due to the nutrition aspect, right? Nutrition deficit anemia. Then you see about working aspects. Then you talk about see malnourishment, economy, highly skilled workers. That is there. So but it is talking more about the malnourishment. It is talking more about tuberculosis, health aspect. So health, nutrition is what is related here. In second option it is only skill development, whereas it is in fourth option it is talking about economic growth, health and nutrition, where I am going with option D as my right answer. Now let's see the third question. Adaptation to climate change and mitigation response are basically the responsibilities of the government. Okay, I'm just doubtful about this statement, but okay. Then climate change causes a change in government policies regarding land use patterns in the country. No, right. So this is, climate change talking only about government policies regarding land use patterns. So there is no communication among these three concepts of climate change, government policies, and only about land use patterns in the country. If at all the passage is talking, if you're doubtful to see the passage, and if the passage is talking about land use, then definitely you may consider this option also. But now I'm not going with it. Okay, because I see the three aspects as totally different aspects, unrelated. So this is wrong. Risk perceptions of farmers are important for motivating them for taking adaptation decisions. Okay. Now here you may be doubtful about why the farmers need to take adaptation decisions, but still I somehow feel that there is some positivity in this because the statement is saying for motivating them for taking adaptation decisions. Okay, so the government or other stakeholders can motivate them to take adaptation decisions, which can be a correct statement. Then D, since mitigation is not possible, governments should come up with policies for quick response. Why mitigation is not possible, right? So this is not a right statement. Now let's see this passage. If you see the passage, I'm showing you all the passage only to tell you all how to arrive at the solution. Okay, yeah. Now if we see the passage, I told you when you're confused, check out for the keywords in the statement. So here it is climate change, adaptation, mitigation, government are the keywords in first statement. Here risk perceptions of farmers, motivation, adaptation decisions are the keywords in the third option. Now let's see. It is talking about majority of farmers. It is talking about low adaptive capabilities. Okay, then adaptation to climate change. All this is there. And see, it is also talking about policy-driven adaptation. Okay, fine. But it is saying that perception is a necessary prerequisite for adaptation. And farmers adapting agricultural practices to climate change depends on whether they perceive it or not. So according to this passage, see, some may think that the answer is A or C. So like my answer is like my more probability of like my intention is there is more probability of C being the answer. But as I told you in the beginning of this video, we don't know what UPSC comes up with. So I don't know. This is doubtful between A and C. But majority like when we talk about the majority points in this passage, I would like to go with C because it is talking about risk perceptions of farmers are important for motivating them for taking adaptation decisions. So risk perceptions of farmers are important. They have to think about risks also. See here, it is important how a farmer perceives the risks. So the passage is talking about farmers more. So, and there is farmers word here in this point. So that is the reason I'm going with C. But let's go to the next one. Yeah, 11th question. Businesses that cause emissions may need to close down or pay for pollution in future. No. So it's not, we can't talk about businesses to close down when they emit something pollution causing, right? So that is a wrong statement. The only solution is technological development related to the issues of climate change. Why? How can we say there is only one solution, which is technological development? So I'm not going with this statement. Waiting to deal with carbon emissions until technology improves is not a wise strategy. This seems to be a sensible statement because we should not wait until we get proper technology to act upon the carbon emissions. So this can be a correct statement. D. Since future technological change is uncertain, new industries should be based on renewable energy sources. So we can't say that new industries should be based on renewable energy sources. So I doubt about this statement, but if you have a doubt between these two statements, definitely you can see the passage and check out for the keywords. The keywords in this is technology and new industries, renewable energy sources. The keywords here is carbon emissions, technology. So in this, if you see, it is talking about emissions here, climate change, technology, fossil fuels. Okay, terrible choice, sharply reducing emissions with the effects of businesses that do not hedge against threat of uncertain outcomes become fail. The world cannot afford such recklessness. See here, the world cannot afford such recklessness. That means you should not delay. You should not delay, which is indirectly given in the option C. So waiting to deal with carbon emissions with technology improves until technology improves is not a wise strategy. So I'm going with option C. Now let's see the 12th question. We are likely to spend more money on cure than prevention. No, absolutely wrong statement. It is the job of the government to solve our environmental and public health problems. Right? How can this be right? So we don't have any role in it. It is the job of everybody, right? It is a coordinated effort. So I'm not going with this one. Then health can be protected even if environmental problems go on unattended. Okay. Yes, that can also be done. See, sometimes when the action is not being taken properly, some environmental problems may keep on going, but still with self-care, we can take care of our health. So by taking that aspect, maybe this can be a correct statement, but I want to see option D also. Loss of traditional lifestyle and the influence of Western values led to some unhealthy ways of living. Okay, this can also be a correct statement, but let us see the passage now. Now I'm confused between two. Now let us see the passage. Okay, now what are the keywords here? Health, environment, protection. Here, traditional lifestyle, Western values, unhealthy ways of living. Now see, this passage is talk about environmental problems, health problems, lifestyle, environment, impossible to adopt. That means from the people point of view, individual efforts with health choices can make the difference between life and death. See here. So with this statement, with this part itself, I can say that I'm going with option C. Because the passage is talking about health, the passage has the word environment, the passage is indirectly talking about the choices we can make to protect our health irrespective of environmental problems. So I'm going with C. If at all you have a doubt about D, it may not be correct because it is talking about loss of traditional lifestyle. We didn't lose our traditional lifestyle entirely, so this is wrong. And the influence of Western values. There is influence, but we can't take it as a reason for unhealthy ways of living. There are some good aspects which we have taken from Western side also, Western values also. So we can't consider this statement. My answer for this is C. Now 13th one. The scheme of universal basic income should be implemented worldwide as a way of poverty alleviation. Okay. We must place food-based nutrition at the center of policy debate. Okay. So here it is talking about universal basic income and poverty alleviation. And the second one is talking about food-based nutrition and policy debate. Okay. Nutritional status of food should be improved by creating appropriate genetically modified crops. This is totally not correct because we can't rely totally on genetically modified crops to bring in nutrition, to improve the nutritional status of food. Using modern food processing technologies, we must fortify food items. No, fortification is a good thing to increase the nutrient elements, but must fortify is not a appropriate solution. So now when you're confused between these two, now see the passage. See, usually I know I want to go with B only because it is talking about food based nutrition and policy debate, center of a policy debate, which has a larger perspective and which is more positive in nature than talking about universal basic income. But if the passage is talking about income as well as poverty, then you can go with this one. And see here, should be implemented worldwide. It is not talking about any specific country which needs this universal basic income, but the point is saying that it should be implemented worldwide, which I'm taking it as a wrong statement even before seeing the passage. But if you want to see the passage, you can see the passage here. See here, it is talking about food, not too healthy, diseases, healthcare systems, economic progress, improving lives, nutritious food, daily nutrients, nutritional food. So everywhere it is talking about nutrition and food, which is there in this statement. Whereas it is nowhere talking about universal basic income or other countries. Okay, so I'm going with option B. Now let's see the next question, which is question number 21. Yes. Arbitrary curbs on vehicles to reduce pollution are difficult to implement. No, we can't demotivate ourselves by saying that these curbs are difficult to implement. Knee-jerk reactions cannot solve the problem of pollution, but an evidence-based approach will be more effective. Maybe, see, evidence-based approach is a positive concept, which is very, very important. So maybe this can be the right answer. But let's see the two more options. A heavy penalty should be enforced on those driving without periodic pollution test. No, why should you talk about heavy penalty should be enforced on those driving without periodic pollution test? Okay, penalty should be enforced, but heavy penalty can be an extreme statement. Then what about the poor people? You can't impose heavy penalty on poor people or the low economic background status people. So this can't be an extreme solution. So I'm not going with this statement. In the absence of laws to deal with the problems of pollution, the administration tends to make arbitrary decisions. So here it is undermining the efforts of administration by saying that it will take arbitrary decisions. So I'm not going with this statement because it is undermining the very administration. So my answer for this is B. Next one. It is an important agenda of the countries around the world to ensure access to good external financing. See, whenever I keep on telling my students that whenever India is being undermined in any of the statement, and when other countries or external factors are giving more importance, then that statement can be taken as a wrong statement. So taking that point into consideration, I'm taking this as a wrong statement. Then, good corporate governance improves the credibility of the firms. Yes, it is a total positive sentence and it is the right statement. So maybe this can be the answer. International capital markets ensure that the firms maintain good corporate governance. Why will a passage be given in UPSC which talks more about international capital markets? Right. So I'm not going with this statement. Good corporate governance paves the way for robust supply chains. So here this can be a correct statement. So you're confused between two sentences where the good corporate governance is the common theme, but in first statement it is talking about credibility of the firms, and in last statement it is talking about supply chains. Now just check out for these two words in the passage. Now if you see the passage, it is talking about good corporate governance, then worldwide international capital markets, effective corporate governance enhance external financing by firms, leading to greater investment, higher growth and employment. All this is regarding firms only. Investors look to place their funds where the standards of disclosure, accurate financial reporting, and of equal treatment to all stakeholders are met. So here, I'm not seeing anything regarding the robust supply chains, whereas I'm seeing a lot of credibility about the firms because it is talking about leading to greater investment, higher growth and investment. So my answer for this is B. Now, let's see the next question. The home range of elephants needs to be a vast area of rich biodiversity. We can't go with this, right? We can't say that home range should be a vast area of rich biodiversity. So this is a wrong statement. Elephants are the keystone species and they benefit the biodiversity, which can be the correct statement for this particular passage. Rich biodiversity cannot be maintained in the forest without the presence of elephants. No, you can't say this, right? So when there is no elephant, you can't find rich biodiversity is a total senseless statement. Elephants are capable of regenerating forests with species as per their requirement. So this is also, I don't feel this as a sensical statement. So my answer for this is B. And even if you check the passage, you can check the passage here. Elephants, it is talking about landscape, creating clearances, forest, plant species, sustenance to other herbivorous plants, fruits, seeds, propagation of seeds, elephant dung, nourishment. So all these are nothing but keystone species, and they benefit the biodiversity, which is a broad concept. So always the broad concepts which are mentioned in the statements and passages are the correct statement. So I'm going with option B. Let's see the next question. 31. Collection, processing and segregation of municipal waste should be with the government agencies. Then what about private? Don't you think we need PPP in this aspect? Right. So we can't purely say that it should be with the government agencies. I doubt the statement, but to confirm it, I may go to the passage. I mean, I can go to the passage, but still I doubt the statement. I may take it as a wrong one also. Next one. Resource recovery and recycling require technological inputs that can be best handled by private sector enterprises. So by saying this is undermining the efforts of the government. So I'm not going with this statement, but as I'm doubtful with this statement, I'm just going to the passage. It is talking about segregation of municipal waste is rare. Recycling is mostly with informal sector. More than 3/4 municipal budget goes into collection and transportation, which is very little for processing. So see here, there is like, it is not talking only about the government sector or only government should do something. So I'm going with my option D for this one only. Even this also can be the option if UPSC takes this as a right statement. But for me personally, I feel that this is a wrong statement. Next, let's see 32nd question. Generation of energy from municipal solid waste is inexpensive. You can't talk about the cost of it. So just, I'm taking it as a wrong statement. Biomethanation is the most ideal way of generating energy from municipal solid waste. This is the right statement, and it is talking about a important concept. Okay, now let's see. So the third one. Segregation of municipal solid waste is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plants. This also seems to be a correct statement. Then, the biodegradable component of India's municipal solid waste is not adequate to provide. So here, it is undermining the India's efforts. So I'm taking this as a wrong statement. Now, as I'm confused, I'll just search for biomethanation concept, word, and then solid waste. And here I'll check out for segregation and waste to energy plants. See here, segregation one only. Even this also can be the option if UPSC takes this as a right statement. But for me personally, I feel that this is a wrong statement. Next, let's see 32nd question. Generation of energy from municipal solid waste is inexpensive. You can't talk about the cost of it. So just, I'm taking it as a wrong statement. Biomethanation is the most ideal way of generating energy from municipal solid waste. This is the right statement, and it is talking about a important concept. Okay, now let's see. So the third one. Segregation of municipal solid waste is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plants. This also seems to be a correct statement. Then, the biodegradable component of India's municipal solid waste is not adequate to provide. So here, it is undermining the India's efforts. So I'm taking this as a wrong statement. Now, as I'm confused, I'll just search for biomethanation concept, word, and then solid waste. And here I'll check out for segregation and waste to energy plants. See here, segregation, waste. Then segregation, collection, recycling. See here, see the point here. Where does waste to energy fit into all this? Ideally, it fits in the chain after segregation. That means initially segregation is the important thing. So segregation is the first step in ensuring the success of waste to energy plant. So I feel this is the right answer. Whereas about biomethanol, it is talking about here. This is just one aspect where it is talking about offers a major solution for processing this. But this processing is for biodegradable component which comes after segregation. So but taking this into consideration, my answer will be C. But if at all, if UPSC wants to focus more on biomethanation, this can be an answer, but I personally would like to go with C for this particular question. Now next one. Question number 33. Organic farming is inherently unsafe for both farmers and consumers. This is totally wrong statement. Farmers and consumers need to be educated about eco-friendly food. Obviously, they should be educated about eco-friendly food. So this is the right statement. So I'm going with option B. Next one. In India, organic farming should not be promoted as a substitute for conventional farming. Why? Why should I not promote organic farming? So this is not right. There are no safe organic alternatives to chemical fertilizers. No. In India, farmers need to be guided and helped to make their organic farming sustainable. Yes, this is a true statement. It's talking about farmers, that they need some guidance and that they need some help. So in making organic farming sustainable. So this can be a right statement. The aim of organic farming should not be to generate huge profits, as there is no global market for its products. You can't still talk about this global market. And as I told you in the previous passages also, when there is preference talking about given to global aspects or international aspects, you can take that statement as a wrong statement. So here, as it is giving more preference by saying strongly that there is no global market for its products, this is a wrong statement. So my answer for this is C. Now let's see question number 35. To implement the sustainable development goals and to achieve zero hunger goal, monoculture agriculture practices are inevitable even if they do not address malnutrition. No, they can't be inevitable. So I'm not taking that particular statement. Next one. Dependence on a few crops has negative consequences for human health and the ecosystem. Yes, we keep on hearing about this. So this can be a right statement. Then see here, I have eliminated first option. So eliminate first option. I'm left over with 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. So by this, even without reading the third statement, I can say the third statement is correct. But still, let us read the third statement for your sake. Government policies regarding food planning need to incorporate nutritional security. Obviously, so this is the right statement. So now let's see the fourth statement. For the present monoculture agriculture practices, farmers receive subsidies in various ways and government offers remunerative prices for grains, and therefore they do not tend to consider crop diversity. See, they do not tend to consider crop diversity. This is a wrong statement, right? If at all you're doubtful about this, you can still check the passage, but I got my answer with 2 and 3. So I'm going with option B. Next question, 41st question. Global warming is causing spring to come early and for longer duration. Obviously, this is true. We have seen in many climate change articles. Early spring and longer period of spring is not good for bird populations. Okay, if we see, we have to see the passage for this, because see here, if this is talking about bird population, then we can go for it. Okay, so now here the keyword is bird population. Now let's see if the passage is talking anywhere about bird population. So it's talking about winter, it's talking about season, longer lag time, then spring timetable, consequences, agriculture, fisheries, tourism. Then as the ice melts earlier, the birds don't return, causing a delay or lengthening in springtime ecological events. So here it is just talking about birds don't return. It is not talking about the bird population, if it is good for them or bad for them. Okay, so I don't think this is a right statement. So for question number 1, I'm going with option A. 42nd. An enhanced efficiency of use of nitrogen is imperative for both food production and environment. Okay, we need nitrogen for food production and we need nitrogen for environment also. This can be a correct statement, but let's see other statements. Production of synthetic nitrogen fertilizers cannot be stopped as it will adversely affect. So cannot be stopped is an extreme statement, so I'm taking it as a wrong one. Alternatives to crops that require excess of nitrogen should be identified and cultivated. See, alternative to crops that require excess of nitrogen should be identified and cultivated. Okay, this may be correct. Okay, but alternative to crops that require excess of nitrogen, why? So I don't think this is a right statement, but still we will see. Conventional agriculture using synthetic fertilizers should be replaced with agroforestry, agrosystems. No, you can't talk about replacement entirely. So I'm taking this as a wrong statement. Now let's see the passage quickly. So before seeing the passage, check for the keywords in the statements which you're confused. Okay, so here it is talking about efficiency of nitrogen, food production, environment. Here it is talking about crops, nitrogen, okay, and cultivation of crops. So here, see here, the first one itself is talking about nitrogen use efficiency. Then it is talking about plant, it is talking about pollution, cropland, environment, nourished by food grown with fertilizers. Okay, see here, to produce high crop yields, nitrogen pollution, eutrophication. So everything about, see, food production is involved, environment is involved, efficiency is involved. So I'm going with option A. Whereas it is not just talking about alternatives to crops that require excess of nitrogen. It is nowhere debating about this going for other crops. Okay, so I'm going with option A. Yeah, 43rd question. Climate justice should be ingrained in detail in the rules of all the new climate compacts and agreements. Okay, climate justice is a vast concept, a very important concept. So this can be a correct statement. Now, next one. Environmental resources are unevenly distributed and exploited. No, we can't talk about this environmental resources being unevenly distributed and exploited across the globe. Across the globe, it's not happening. There is an impending issue of dealing with a huge number of climate change victims or climate refugees. Okay, let us see the passage. Climate change in all its connotations is mostly due to developed countries, and therefore their share of burden should be more. So here it is talking about developed countries. If the passage is talking more about developed countries and their burden should be increased in financing for climate change, then this can be a correct statement. But let's see the passage. See, sustainable lifestyles, climate justice, environment. So it is talking about climate justice and environment. Okay, so check for the keywords climate justice, new climate compacts or agreements, which means environment only. Then here it is talking only about climate change victims. Now, where is that word of victims? It is here. So what is it talking about? The crucial question in the next few years will be how resources, technologies, and regulations are used to support the victims of climate change. Justice and climate change not conflict to action. Here, the line is talking about huge number of climate change victims. Here, it is not talking about the number of climate change victims. It is just mentioning that we need these resources, technologies, and regulations to support the victims of climate change. So, based on all these aspects, my answer, and it is nowhere talking about the burden of developed countries, like orienting or their orientation towards their involvement more in climate change. So, I'm going with option A for this. But UPSC may come up with C if it wants to talk more about the climate change or refugees, but my answer for this is A. Let's see question number 51. Food yielding trees should replace other trees. No. See, replacing will always be wrong. Food security cannot be ensured in India with the present. See, cannot be ensured in India. Wrong. Wastelands and degraded areas in India should be converted into agroforestry systems to help the poor. Okay, this seems to be sensible somewhat. Now let's see this fourth statement. Agroecosystems should be developed in addition to or along with conventional agriculture. This seems to be somewhat neutral statement, but it is taking two aspects into consideration. Okay, but still, let's see the passage. See the keywords first. It is talk about wastelands, agroforestry, poor. Agroecosystems, conventional agriculture. Now see here, non-agricultural lands, that is forest, wetlands, and pastures. In addition to agricultural lands, systemic approach, food consumption, communities, productivity, safety, forest foods also make important contribution during seasonal crop production droughts. So by seeing all the keywords, I somehow feel that it is not focusing on wastelands and degraded areas in India, whereas it is talking about agro ecosystems. Ecosystem is a broader concept. So it is talking about ecosystem, which includes all the aspects of agroforestry also. So should be developed in addition to conventional agriculture, which is a sensible statement. So my answer for this is D. Now let's see question number 52. It is necessary to put proper effluent treatments protocols in place. Okay, fine. This seems to be a narrow statement, but as we don't know what the passage is talking about, we can't say. But the statement has no negativity in it. It is necessary to promote environmental awareness among people. This also has no negativity in it. Spread of drug-resistant bacteria cannot be done away with. Wrong. Pharma manufacturing companies should be set up in remote rural areas away from crowded towns and cities. No, wrong. You can't say that. You just check out for the place and check out for the environmental clearance, but you not take a decision considering that they have to be set up in remote rural areas. Now I'm confused between these two simple statements. One is talking about effluent treatment protocols, which means indirectly it is including companies, and the other is talking about general environmental awareness. Now if you see this, it is talking about awareness, yes, with antibiotics, environmental impact of antibiotics, manufacturing companies treating their waste. So obviously by seeing these two words itself, I can definitely go with option A. Whereas promoting environmental awareness is a general statement. When it is talking about proper effluent treatment protocols, This is the line. So that's the reason I'm going with option A. Now let's see the next question. To become a global power, India needs to invest in universal quality education. Okay, that seems to be a correct statement. Next, India is unable to become a global power because it is not focusing on promoting knowledge economy. No, you can't undermine your own country this way. Our education system should focus more on imparting skills during higher education. Okay, this also seems to be a correct statement. Parents of many school children are illiterate. No, this is wrong. You can't talk about this. Now I'm confused between this universal quality education, investment, global power, and then imparting skills during higher education. Now let's see the passage quickly. It is talking about good quality school education, then only when students complete and leave after having acquired gateway skills. One picks advanced skills only after picking the basic foundational skills. So here, see here, of having an educated workforce will be an inability to keep pace with the global economy. Okay, global economy term is given here. Without a strong learning foundation at the primary level, there can be no improvement in higher education or skill development. So it is giving more focus on the primary level. Whereas this particular statement is talking about our education system should focus more on imparting skills during higher education. No, it is talking about the primary level first. Then it is talking about improvement in higher education. So taking this global power into consideration and as we have to see from our country point of view and invest in universal quality education is a good thing. So I think or I'm going with the first aspect, option A. If this was not during higher education, then obviously this can also be a correct statement. Next one. 61st. Modern technology enfeebles societal structure and makes life difficult. You can't say that modern technology, it is in fact making your life easier, right? So that is a wrong statement. Modern life is full of uncertainties and endless difficult choices. No, you can't go in that extreme level by saying that modern life is full of uncertainties. We are influenced by the opinion of others and have no courage to follow our own convictions. No, this is a wrong statement. So as all the three statements are wrong, my answer is D, without reading the line or the passage, but still we will read the line. In our lives, having too few choices may not be a good thing, but having too many choices can be equally difficult. So it is talking about choices. That means you should be neutral. You should not have more choices or you should not have very less choices. You have to know which choice to take up appropriately depending upon the time and situation. So see here, the passage is talking about choices more. Choices, making decisions, people, life choices. So with these words, I'm going with option D. I have confirmed that option D is the right answer. Now, if we see the 62nd one, a flexible environment is needed to develop solutions. Okay, I don't see anything wrong in that statement. So correct. Households need customized solutions. Obviously, see, you live in a particular house. You don't know what your family needs. So the other people or your neighbors who are living beside you, you don't know what they need. So obviously, customized solutions. So I think this is a correct statement. Innovations in financial technology are required. Okay, this also seems to be a correct statement. But before arriving at the solution, just see what the passage is talking about. Here, these points are talking about some flexible environment, some households, some solutions, some innovations, some financial technology. Now let's see. Let's see the passage. Okay, household finance, investment. Okay, then traditional processes will not simply jump into financialization. Hurdles to change, bureaucracy, financial institutions, lack of basic information. Providers is best for each family. Okay, so best for each family indirectly says that you need customized solutions and how one can make the transition between them if necessary. So innovations in the passage is nowhere talking about innovation in financial technology. It is talking about household finance and how they need that freedom or flexibility to come up with solutions. So based on that, depending on that, I'm eliminating this one and I'm going with 1 and 2 only. Okay, because you can check the passage again. It is nowhere talking about the innovation needed for financial technology. Okay, it is talking about the mindsets of household people. So I'm going with 1 and 2 as the right answers for question number 62. Now question number 63. Patent protection given to patentees puts a huge burden on public's purchasing power and accessing patented medicines. Yes, this is the right statement because they get that freedom to like sell the medicines or for I mean, the amount can be huge. The cost can be huge when it is given to a patentee. Then dependence on other countries for pharmaceutical products is a huge burden for developing and poor countries. So dependence on other countries. See, I told you we should not talk about other countries. For pharmaceutical products is a huge burden for developing and poor countries. So considering this, I'm not going with this statement, but still we will see the passage once. Next, providing medicines to the public at affordable prices is a key goal during the public health policy design in many countries. Okay, this can be a correct statement. Do we have 1 and 3? But we don't have 1 and 3. Eliminate 2, we don't have 1 and 3. See the fourth statement, governments need to find an appropriate balance between the rights of patentees and the requirements of patients. Yes, this is the right statement. See, there is a lot of relation between first statement and fourth statement. So I guess the answer can be B, but still we will see the passage. Pharmaceutical patents enjoy the liberty, prices of medicines, it could be unaffordable. Okay, so patented medicine, price protection, high price. So it is talking entirely about the patent protection, patents, all these aspects, right? So it is not talking about any public health policy. So I am going with 1 and 4. If there is option 3 also, then you could have marked 3 also as the right one, because this is a correct statement only. But as there is no 1 and 3, as there is no 3 and 4 is there. Achha, okay, 3 and 4 is there, but the first and fourth statement seems to be related and correct, because it is really saying that patent protection given to patentees puts a huge burden on public's purchasing power. So I'm going with 1 and 4. Next, coming with 64. Protection of privacy is not just a right, but it has value to the economy. True. There is a fundamental link between privacy and innovation. Obviously, we to come up with more privacy protection, we need innovation. So this is also right statement. You can see the passage if you want. It is talking about the digital economy. See, you need innovations in digital economy. Then it is talking about individuals' personal information, which is nothing but privacy. So based on all these aspects, see, innovation, data protection laws. So I'm going with C as the right answer for question number 64. Now coming to the next question. Enrollment in schools and colleges is high, but there is no quality education. Wrong. Unemployment must be seen as a function of rising education and aspirations of young Indians. Okay, this can be a correct statement. There are no labor-intensive industries to accommodate. No, that is a wrong statement. The education system should be properly designed so as to enable the educated people to be self-employed. Why? We can't say that the education system itself should be changed to make all the people get self-employment. So I'm not going with this statement. So I'm going with option B, and I want to see the passage again for you. So see here, it is talk about unemployment, economy, rising school and college enrollment, and it is also saying about experience of younger Indians who face higher employment challenges, greater willingness. So this indirectly is taking us to rising education and aspirations of young Indians. So I'm going with option B. Now coming to 72nd question. Modern statesmen need to be well trained in scientific methods and philosophical thinking to enable them to have a better perspective of their roles, responsibilities, and goals. There is a purely positive statement, so this can be a correct statement. It is not desirable to have governments managed by empirical statesmen unless well mixed with others who are grounded in learning and reflect wisdom. No, unless something is a wrong statement. As the statesmen or bureaucrats are the products of a society, it is desirable to have a system of education in a society that focuses on training its citizens in scientific method and philosophical thinking from a very early age. See, if you want to give this training of citizens based on scientific method and philosophical thinking, why should be related to statesmen and bureaucrats? See, as the statesmen and bureaucrats are products of a society, so we have to train all its citizens, so that makes no sense. So I'm not going with this statement. It is desirable that all scientists need to be philosophers. All scientists need to be philosophers is a wrong statement. So I'm going with option A, but still we will see the passage. See, it is talk about science. Okay. Then goal. Okay. See, the goal is here. Okay. Then it's talking about goals. It's talking about philosophy, scientific methods. Okay. Then see, philosophy, scientific methods, goal, knowledge, Actual needs of men and life. So everything is there in the first statement, which is A. So my choosing of option A is correct. Now let's see the next question. Okay. Now see, there are only some words given in the option. So for this type of questions, obviously we have to see the question. Sorry, we have to see the passage. So see here, the last end of the state is not to dominate men, not to restrain them by fear. Restrain. What are the words here? Personal safety. Okay, personal safety, health of body and mind, communal harmony, liberty. As there is the word called restrain here, I'm thinking that liberty can be the answer, but still let us see the passage. Free each man from fear. Again, liberty. Then he may live with full security and without injury to himself or his neighbor. End of state, I repeat, is not to make rational beings into brute beasts and machines. So they should not be forced to become something. It is enabled to bodies and made to function safely. That means giving them freedom. Then lead to men live by to exercise a free reason. Everything is there. So I'm going with option D, undoubtedly. Let's go to the next question. Okay. Yes, so we are done. We are done with 27 passages, comprehension passages, and I tried to solve them without seeing the passage first. But as I was confused between two statements, then I went to see the passage and clarified it to all of you. So I repeat, I came up with my own personal interpretation of this comprehension passages, but you have to wait till next year, till UPSC releases its key. But still, I told you all, wherever there can be another answer by UPSC also, I clearly explained you all by telling that my probability or my strong orientation towards my own answers, right? So just just watch this video, and through this video you can practice doing more number of CSAT questions. And I keep on telling to all my students, and I want to repeat it enough, that is, for CSAT, for students giving 2024 prelims, to do CSAT, the only solution or the very good solution is practicing UPSC questions. You need not practice other institute questions at all. Just take out previous year questions and keep on practicing UPSC questions. And I will make a video. I will make a video on how to do CSAT comprehension even without seeing the passage. Like most of the tricks I have explained in this class itself by showing you all, by demonstrating to you all. So I may come up with a video later. And also not just for CSAT, I have many tricks to tell you all for GS preparation too. So stay tuned to Fem Power IAS.